Hi guys, a really warm welcome back to my channel and to another money related video. One of my favourite kinds. You know, I love to share loads of money tips and money saving and investing and budgeting and lots of ideas around living your best life on a budget here on this channel. So today we're going to be talking about a topic that affects all of us, and that is something that is definitely in the press more at the moment because there's lots of moving and shaking going on. Obviously we had the recent rise which was documented heavily, and we're going to be talking today about inflation and how it affects our day-to-day, how it affects our finances, how it affects our saving, our mortgages, and how you can use a bit of knowledge to your advantage to help not beat the system but better your financial well-being, which is what I love to do here, to share ideas of how to make your financial well-being better and just make you feel better in the long run. So let's crack on with the video. Grab yourself a cuppa or something to drink and let's get into it. Before I start this whole video, I just need to clarify, as always, disclaimer, disclosure, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't take any of this as financial advice. It's just my opinion and my experience and my journey that I've learned along the way, everything I've learned myself from getting myself into a really much better financial position and obviously and ultimately buying our house and getting into a much better position with our finances. So do your own research. So first of all, as we're talking about inflation, if this is the first time you are coming to a video about inflation, but you know it's affecting your finances, you know it's affecting how your savings are working or potentially how your mortgage is going up and crazy increase in prices, which by the way, I have done a whole video on pros and cons of paying off your mortgage and saving the money elsewhere. So go over and check that one out if you haven't watched it already. But to start with, let's talk about inflation. What is inflation? So inflation is the gradual increase in prices and services over time. So this could be used to your advantage. So inflation in the bank, when the Bank of England put up the base rate, say 5% as it is now, that means that you're obviously better off. Your money's better off. It's increasing in value more. However, it does mean that our purchasing power over the money that we have decreases, and over time savings are not worth what they once were worth because say a loaf of bread, inflation has gone up, the price of the bread has gone up. Well, our £1 in the bank is no longer the same value as a £1 loaf of bread because the loaf of bread is now £1.50, £2. So that's how you can see the purchasing power is affected when it comes to inflation. So now that we kind of know what inflation is, let's look at how it can affect day-to-day life, because it's something that you've probably heard many, many times. Inflation, cost of living crisis, things are going up in price, and obviously we all know food shopping is just absolutely wildly overpriced at the moment. The same with our petrol, the same with our holidays, the same with furniture or clothes. This is all impacted because of inflation and prices rising because of that. It can also mean that our lifestyle has to change because, you know, going out for drinks I remember my husband and I were talking about this, we used to go out with like £10 in our pocket when we were young and go out after you've had a few friends over and go out and have a full night. It was like £2, £1 pints back in the day when they had special offers on. That is inconceivable now, and yet our salaries are not going up in line with that. The cost of living is going like this, and our salaries are sort of maintaining, if not maybe going down if we're losing work or having to pay more for things. It's the disparity between these amounts of how much things cost and how much we're earning is just getting further and further apart. Essentially, high prices mean that we can buy less because we are earning the same amount, potentially some more, but the power of our money, what it's worth, is relative to what things cost, right? So if something costs 2 times, 3 times the amount and your income is the same, then lifestyle and particularly goals will have to be re-looked at. We have to look at things and think, I wanted to get to this certain point, I wanted to pay this much money into my savings every single year, and for a 5-year plan I wanted to be able to pay off this much for my mortgage or have a deposit saved. And this is something that is really key, I think, for money mindset and how we feel about money and our goals, because we have to reassess them, right? We cannot say, I want to save £10,000 this year, that's my goal, and then suddenly inflation comes in, we don't have as much buying power with the money we've earned. We have to pay so much more for all of our utilities, our food, our petrol. Well, of course, you're going to have to look at where your money, how you can get to those goals, because your money isn't worth what it was worth. So it's really important from a mindset point of view that you shouldn't punish yourself in a way that you think, I should have got to that goal. I wish I'd been able to save that money, because you cannot, it's like apples and pears. You cannot compare them because they're completely different, and therefore you cannot compare your goals to something that you set yourself 5 years ago or the beginning of the year, the beginning of lockdown, and it's completely changed now. So it's really important for your mindset and your well-being, financial well-being, to actually reassess your goals, because I'm not good at this either. So let's learn together. I feel really gutted if I can't get to a certain financial goal, but then I need to think, well, hold on, I'm paying double my monthly expenses now because everything's gone up in price so much. So you have to be realistic with your goals. Fortunately though, there is some good news. There's not all bad news. There are some ways that we can mitigate these effects that are going to go on with our finances to help with the impact of inflation. So let's talk through some of those steps. Guys, if you are enjoying the video, I'd love to have you here as a subscriber. I share loads of videos all about living your best life on a budget, ways to save money, make more money, invest your money, budget your money, and just make your money go further to help your financial well-being. I'd love to give you any support that you might need. There's an amazing Facebook group that we have called Budget Best Life, and there's loads of really supportive people over there. It's a great community. And of course my Instagram as well, Lara, Joanna, Jarvis, which is day-to-day budgeting and lifestyle content over there as well. And of course all the other platforms, I'm there, and have a blog as well with lots of money saving sheets, sort of printables, downloadables, where you can track your money, your savings, your debt payoff trackers and things like that, and they're all free, of course. Okay, this one I'm not going to go into too much. As I said, not a financial advisor, do your research. Is about investing in areas that will over time be beneficial. And I'm talking about diversifying your investments, your portfolios. As you know, I've talked lots about investing here on this channel. I've got videos about investing for beginners, investing in the stock market, in stocks and shares, and my portfolio and things like that. And as always, there is a link in the description bar for you guys to have a free share in one of the places that I invest in monthly, and make sure I diversify my portfolio all the time just to try and outpace inflation, which is hard, of course. But if you do want a free share, it's in the description bar. I will get one as well, as a full disclosure, and it's up to the value of £100. It's free. It's good to get you started, but you do need to do your own research. There's a lot of information around investing that I've learned over the past 4 or 5 years that's really helped me get to the point where I am now with my investments. So obviously, you know, like, they are very volatile. These things can go up and down quite quickly. But allocating a portion of your assets, your money, to areas that historically do outpace inflation is something that can really help you, and that's diversifying your investment portfolio. So stocks and shares, even commodities and real estate, property. So yeah, there's lots of ways to do this, but obviously it's when you get to a position where you have the money to do it. It's all very well me saying that, but as a long-term plan, that is one way to help. The next one is to save in areas which benefit from tax advantages. So for example, your pension. So you will get, if you are employed by somebody, potentially match pension contributions, which is, I cannot tell you enough, free money your employer is giving you. Make sure you maximize as much as you can. So maybe that's a 5% that you will put in, and your employer will match that by 5%. This is a tax advantage. So you're not paying any tax on that money. I mean, we're not going to get into taxes because we pay enough tax in life, and it's very, very depressing. But this money is a way of putting that money aside, so you're not taxed on it, and actually it's then gonna, obviously over time, with the magic of compound interest, we love that over here, it's gonna build up your wealth and in time mitigate that inflation rate rise. But the key thing here is that it's a tax exempt, so you're not going to be paying your tax on it once you put it into the account, and it's going to sit there and develop over time and get more. Sorry, I've just noticed there's like a really big chin-up going over. Really loud, sorry about that. I don't know where we got to because that got really, really loud then. So the next one, we'll talk about ways to mitigate inflation. This one isn't particularly about mitigating inflation, but it's about adjusting your budget, which is really, really important because like I said, you can't suddenly have a goal that you could have done 5 years ago and now kaboom, like we're double what we're paying out normally. You just have to adjust things accordingly. And that does mean adjust your lifestyle. So you know, yes, you may well be earning more money, but don't let lifestyle creep come in and actually take away the extra money that you'd have in your bank because you're spending it on the bigger car, the better house, the better clothes, going out more, doing more holidays. Like these things are just actually, like I say, your money goes up, salary goes up, good for you, well done, but also your expenses are going up and up and up. And the disparity here that you're not actually ever in a position where you're this chunk here that you could be saving and putting into a high interest savings account, such as a stocks and shares ISA or something like that, and then let it build up. You're actually spending the money. So adjusting your budget, we're talking, you know, maybe you don't go out for dinner as much, maybe you don't buy the finest ingredients when you go shopping, maybe you cancel some subscriptions, maybe you have people over rather than going out for dinner. Like little things, you have to adjust your budget to find various ways to save money in your day-to-day life to account for any adjusted money that you're paying out due to inflation. And of course, we could look at increasing our income. Easier said than done, of course. But side hustles, there are hundreds of side hustles here on this channel as videos. I'll try and link everything in a playlist in the description bar. Maybe asking for a raise in your job, potentially taking on another job, but don't burn yourself out. It is much better to try and decrease your outgoings than it is to increase your earnings, especially if it's going to affect your mental well-being and your load and everything like that. Or invest in your skills. I've talked about upskilling and learning new trades to potentially increase your earning opportunities. There's different ways around this, and maybe you take like 2 years when you have to study in the evenings, but actually it's going to get you somewhere much quicker than if you weren't to do extra study and add to your skill set. So look at ways to increase your earnings, and there's of course loads of videos here on my channel to help with that bit too. Notice my hair looks really weird today, sorry about that. I chucked it up and hoped for the best. So are you overspending? Look at your bank account, have a money day. I talk about this all the time because it's so important, because it's so easy just to like spend money, tap, 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 tap. Like I am guilty of it too, and I am really mindful with my money and my money mindset, but it's so easy just to like keep buying things. But unfortunately we have to be strict with ourselves at the moment. We have to know this won't be forever. Obviously it's very, very tough, and you may well have to put things on hold. You may well have to reduce your lifestyle and you're going out and things like that, but just be mindful of your spending and check through your accounts. Make sure you're not overspending, make sure you're not wasting money anywhere that's things that you're not actually using anymore, and just be really, really mindful. So as with anything, it's really important if you are looking to make a financial plan and you want to combat inflation, then think about enlisting the help of a financial professional. You know, you don't have to pay a very huge sum for this. It could be a one-off thing to get someone to really deep dive into your accounts. If maybe you are a little bit further along and you have savings and you have your mortgage and you want to just like work out a plan to look at inflation and how it can affect your finances and how you can try and mitigate this and combat the rise in cost of living, and how to make your money work for you, because essentially that's what I've been doing over the past few years, 4 or 5 years, is really making sure I make my money work for me. And enlisting a professional can be a really great one-off exercise to make sure you're doing it in the right way that's going to suit your needs. You know, if you've got maybe children are leaving home or they've left home and actually you've got a little bit more income, or sorry, a little bit more disposable income to your hands, and actually you might want to invest it in places. You've maxed out your ISA potentially for the year, you've got your pension contributions. It's really important to make sure you're getting the right advice. So do reach out to a professional like an IFA or someone like that can help guide you there. Being proactive and implementing these changes can safeguard you against the future when it comes to inflation and your money being worth less. So I hope you've got something from these strategies to protect your wealth from the future when it comes to inflation, and really just make your money work for you. That's the key thing. As I said, there are so many videos here on this channel, whether it is how to make more money, how to save money, how to budget your money, how to live frugally, what's the difference between frugal and cheap, and there are tons of differences. How to live more intentionally, there's money mindset videos here. So I've delved really deeply into this topic on this channel, and I really think that there'll be loads of videos here that will help you get your financial well-being in a much better place. That's what I'm here to do, to really help guide you guys and help you if that's what you're looking for. So I really hope you did find it helpful. Give the video a like if you enjoyed it and a thumbs up. And if you're new here, then subscribe to the channel. There's lots more videos to enjoy. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye.